47 targets hit, 3 American aircraft damaged, 2 pilots recovered, 14 Iranian air defense operators killed. This is how modern warfare actually looks when both sides fight back. The evening of March 8th, Iranian military command received intelligence about possible U.S. strikes. Air defense batteries went to elevated alert status. Mobile missile launchers dispersed from known positions. Fighter squadrons were placed on 15-minute standby. At 11:47 p.m., the warnings proved accurate. 2 Ohio-class submarines positioned 280 miles offshore in the Gulf of Oman launched the opening salvo. 32 Tomahawk cruise missiles, not the massive barrages shown in movies. Each Tomahawk cost $1.8 million. Mission planners selected targets carefully. Communications nodes, radar installations, command facilities, high-value targets that would degrade Iranian coordination. The missiles flew terrain-hugging profiles through mountain valleys. Flight time approximately 52 minutes. Iranian early warning radar detected 18 of the inbound missiles at 12:11 a.m. Air defense batteries scrambled to engage. This is where reality differs from propaganda. Both sides have capable systems. Both sides have trained operators. At 11:52 p.m., U.S. Cyber Command activated malware that had been dormant in Iranian networks for 8 months. The objective wasn't Hollywood-style total shutdown. Cyber warfare doesn't work that way. The goal was degradation, introduce delays in fire control systems, corrupt some targeting data, force operators to use slower backup procedures. It worked partially. Some Iranian systems experienced disruptions. Others continued functioning normally. What weapon system interests you most? Type A for cruise missiles, Type B for cyber warfare. Let me know in the comments. Iranian S-300 batteries engaged the incoming Tomahawks at 12:21 a.m. Radar operators had visual confirmation on their screens. Fire control solutions were calculated. Missiles launched. The engagement wasn't one-sided. Iranian crews had trained for exactly this scenario. They understood American cruise missile flight profiles. They knew the probable approach corridors. Battery commander near Tabriz made the call to engage 2 inbound missiles simultaneously. His radar showed clear tracks. Fire control computer calculated intercept points. 2 S-300 missiles launched from their vertical tubes. Rocket motors ignited. The missiles accelerated to Mach 6. Terminal guidance activated. Both Tomahawks were successfully intercepted and destroyed. Debris fell across a 2-mile radius. Another battery near Shiraz attempted engagement, but experienced the effects of the cyber operation. Their fire control computer was feeding corrupted data. The targeting solution placed the intercept point 8 miles off actual. The S-300 missile flew to empty sky. The Tomahawk continued unimpeded. A third Tomahawk experienced a guidance malfunction unrelated to enemy action. GPS receiver failed mid-flight. The missile continued on last known heading, but couldn't update its position. It crashed in uninhabited desert 40 miles from its intended target. Modern weapons are reliable, not perfect. The Tomahawks began hitting targets at 12:39 a.m. A communications relay station near Shiraz took a direct hit. The explosion destroyed the primary antenna array and killed 4 technicians on night duty. A radar installation outside Isfahan was struck, but only partially damaged. The warhead hit a support building instead of the main radar dome. The facility stayed operational at reduced capacity. Underground command bunker near Kermanshah received 3 hits. Bunker buster warheads. The first penetrated surface layers. The second went deeper. The third detonated inside a secondary tunnel. The explosion killed 3 Revolutionary Guard officers and wounded 11 others. But the primary command center, located in a separate section, remained functional. Communication cables were severed. Backup systems were activated. The facility could still operate, but coordination was degraded. Iranian military doctrine emphasizes redundancy. When primary systems fail, backups activate. When bunkers are hit, mobile command posts deploy. This wasn't a knockout blow. It was degradation warfare. Both sides understood that. If this detailed tactical analysis is valuable to you, consider subscribing. Real warfare analysis takes serious research. At 12:41 a.m., Phase 2 began. 24 F-35 Lightning II, Stealth fighters approached Iranian airspace. Not 72, not hundreds. 24 aircraft carrying precision-guided munitions. Their targets were S-300 air defense batteries that posed the greatest threat to follow-on strikes. The F-35's stealth characteristics provided significant advantage. Iranian radar operators detected anomalies but couldn't achieve solid target locks. Some batteries went to manual targeting mode. Others attempted to engage based on estimated positions. 3 S-300 batteries fired a total of 14 missiles at probable intercept points. None achieved hits. The F-35s were too far from the predicted locations. American pilots released joint direct attack munitions from 18,000 feet, GPS-guided bombs with 90% accuracy rate under ideal conditions. Conditions weren't ideal. One bomb missed its target by 40 feet, damaging a nearby maintenance building instead of the intended radar truck. Another struck its target dead center, destroying an S-300 launcher. A third hit was assessed as partial damage, taking one launcher offline but leaving the battery operational at reduced capacity. Total U.S. assessment: 8 of 11 targeted S-300 batteries damaged or destroyed. Iranian assessment: 4 batteries destroyed, 3 damaged, 4 still operational. The truth was somewhere in between. At 12:52 a.m., Iranian F-14 Tomahawk fighters scrambled from 2 air bases, 11 aircraft total. These are Vietnam-era airframes, but upgraded with modern avionics. The pilots were skilled. The aircraft were armed with long-range missiles. Ground control was degraded but not eliminated. The Iranians were coming up to fight. The engagement occurred at 1:08 a.m. F-35 pilots detected the Iranian fighters at 65 miles range. American doctrine is to engage from beyond visual range. 4 AIM-120 missiles were fired. Iranian pilots received radar warning alerts and began defensive maneuvers. Chaff dispensers activated. Electronic countermeasures engaged. These weren't sitting targets. 2 Iranian F-14s were hit and destroyed. Both pilots ejected successfully. One was recovered by Iranian forces. The other landed in mountainous terrain and would be picked up hours later. 3 AIM-120 missiles missed their targets due to effective countermeasures. The remaining Iranian fighters fired their own long-range missiles, then retreated at maximum speed. Their missiles missed, but they survived. Modern air combat isn't like the movies. The Americans lost one asset during this phase. An EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft supporting the F-35s took damage from an SA-15 short-range missile. The aircraft stayed airborne, but one engine was hit. The 2-person crew nursed it back to base, landing safely with emergency equipment standing by. The aircraft would require major repairs. What would you prioritize? Air defense suppression or striking mobile targets? Leave your tactical assessment below. At 1:33 a.m., Iranian Revolutionary Guard commanders authorized ballistic missile launch. Not hundreds, not massive retaliation. 12 Fateh 110 short-range missiles from mobile launchers in the Zagros Mountains. Targets were U.S. facilities in Iraq and Kuwait. This was Iran demonstrating it could still strike back. U.S. satellite systems detected the launches immediately. Warning transmitted to Patriot missile batteries protecting coalition bases. The Patriots had 4 minutes to engage. Interception isn't guaranteed. Patriot success rates in real combat have varied from 40% to 90% depending on conditions and target types. 9 Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted. 2 penetrated the defense and struck their targets. 1 hit the perimeter of Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq, creating a crater 60 feet from the base fence. Minor damage to perimeter sensors. No casualties. The second missile struck a logistics warehouse at Camp Arif Yan in Kuwait. The building was partially destroyed. 3 U.S. personnel and 2 civilian contractors suffered injuries from blast effects and debris. None life-threatening, but real casualties nonetheless. The 12th missile malfunctioned after launch and impacted an uninhabited terrain inside Iran. These systems aren't 100% reliable. By 2:15 a.m., both sides were reassessing. The Americans had hit priority targets but hadn't achieved total air defense suppression. Iran had taken significant damage but retained operational capability. This is what modern warfare between capable adversaries actually looks like. Not total dominance, not Hollywood scenarios, degradation, attrition, partial effects. U.S. commanders evaluated continuing the operation versus preserving assets for follow-on missions. Iranian commanders assessed remaining defensive capability and repositioned surviving units. Both sides had achieved some objectives. Both sides had taken losses. Both sides were adjusting strategy based on reality. At 2:47 a.m., a limited third wave commenced. 6 B-1B bombers launched from Diego Garcia struck petroleum facilities near Abadan. These were dual-use targets. The facilities processed oil but also produced kerosene used in missile fuel production. 18 precision-guided bombs were dropped. 14 hit their intended targets. 2 missed due to last-second winds affecting trajectory. The refinery caught fire in 3 separate areas. Production capacity was reduced by an estimated 60%. The fires would burn for 6 days before being fully controlled. This brought U.S. total munitions expenditure to approximately $290 million. Iranian infrastructure damage was estimated at $1.2 billion. But more important than dollar figures, operational capacity. Iran's air defense network was degraded from 100% to approximately 65%, not destroyed, degraded. Command and control went from 100% to about 55% effectiveness. Naval capability at Bandar Abbas was reduced from 100% to 40%. Support this kind of realistic military analysis. Hit that subscribe button. The operation concluded at 3:20 a.m. Final assessments showed 47 targets engaged. 39 were confirmed damaged or destroyed to varying degrees. 8 targets showed minimal or no damage from munitions that missed or malfunctioned. American losses: 1 EA-18G Growler damaged and out of service. 1 F-35 returned with minor damage from shrapnel. 5 personnel injured at Camp Arifjan. Iranian losses: approximately 40 military personnel killed, 87 wounded. Unknown number of civilian casualties from strikes near populated areas. Estimated 14 air defense operators killed when their positions were hit. 2 fighter pilots killed when aircraft were shot down. Significant degradation of military capability, but not elimination. This wasn't the crushing victory that propaganda describes. It wasn't the heroic defense that state media claims. It was modern warfare. Technological advantage meeting prepared defenses. Both sides employing sophisticated systems. Both sides taking hits. Both sides claiming victory. Both sides knowing the truth was more complex. The geopolitical reality after this first night: Iran's ability to threaten shipping in the Strait of Hormuz was reduced but not eliminated. U.S. freedom of operation in the region improved, but wasn't absolute. Neither side achieved their maximalist objectives. Both sides would need to reconsider their next moves based on actual capabilities rather than propaganda claims. Military analysts studying this engagement identified key lessons. First, cyber warfare provides advantage but not dominance. Degradation is realistic. Total shutdown is fiction. Second, stealth technology offers significant benefits but isn't invisibility. Skilled defenders can still engage. Third, precision weapons are accurate but not perfect. Misses happen. Malfunctions occur. Fourth, modern air defense systems are capable. Operators are trained. Interceptions are possible. Fifth, and perhaps most important, wars between technologically advanced nations don't end in one night. They involve sustained campaigns, mutual losses, operational adaptation. The fantasy of zero-casualty warfare is just that, a fantasy. Do you think realistic military coverage is more valuable than propaganda? Should we show both sides of conflicts? Comment your perspective below. The strategic implication for both nations. Iran learned its air defenses could function but were vulnerable to sustained attack. The U.S. learned that operations against prepared adversaries involve risk and don't achieve perfect results. Regional allies learned that American military power is substantial but not unlimited. Potential adversaries learned that modern air defense systems can impose costs even against superior forces. By sunrise on March 9th, both militaries were repositioning. Iran was moving surviving assets to backup locations, repairing damaged systems where possible, assessing which capabilities could be restored quickly. The U.S. was planning follow-on operations while factoring in the reality that Iranian defenses remained partially functional. The casualty figures told the real story. American, 5 injured, to 1 aircraft heavily damaged, 1 aircraft lightly damaged. Iranian, approximately 40 killed, 87 wounded, significant equipment losses but operational capability retained at reduced levels. This is what modern warfare produces. Not the one-sided massacres of propaganda. Actual combat between trained forces using sophisticated systems. Media coverage predictably diverged from reality. U.S. media emphasized successful strikes and minimal American losses. Iranian media claimed heroic defense and successful counterstrikes. International media reported both narratives without access to complete information. The truth remained classified on both sides. The long-term impact would depend on what happened next. One night of strikes hadn't decided anything. It had changed the military balance, created new operational realities, imposed costs on both sides. But wars aren't won in 8 hours. They're won through sustained operations, strategic patience, and realistic assessment of capabilities. If you've watched this far, you appreciate realistic military analysis over propaganda. Subscribe for more content that respects your intelligence. This engagement demonstrated that 21st century warfare between capable adversaries involves partial effects rather than total victories, mutual casualties rather than one-sided dominance, technological advantages that create edge but not invincibility, defending forces that remain dangerous even while taking losses, and operational complexity that defies simplistic narratives. The commanders on both sides understood these realities. They planned for sustainable operations rather than decisive strikes. They accepted that achieving 60–70% of objectives was success in this environment. They knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges based on today's results. For students of military affairs, this first night provided clear lessons. Respect your adversary's capabilities, plan for partial success, expect losses, prepare for sustained operations. Don't believe your own propaganda. Reality is messier than briefing slides suggest. The strategic question facing both nations after this exchange: continue escalation or find off-ramps? Each side had demonstrated capability, each side had absorbed losses, each side had learned that the other could fight back effectively. The next decision would determine whether this was the beginning or the end of sustained conflict. Do you think showing realistic casualties on both sides makes coverage more credible? Should we acknowledge that no military is perfect? Drop your thoughts in the comments. 3 weeks later, both sides would claim victory. Iran would showcase rebuilt facilities and operational systems. The U.S. would release selected strike footage. Neither narrative would be complete. The reality: Iran's military capability was reduced, not eliminated. American freedom of operation was enhanced, not absolute. The regional balance had shifted, not transformed. This is how modern warfare actually works. Not the clean strikes of video games, not the heroic narratives of propaganda, partial effects, mutual risks, ongoing uncertainty. Both sides adapting, both sides claiming success, both sides knowing the truth is complicated. Thanks for watching Realistic Military Analysis. Subscribe for coverage that doesn't insult your intelligence. Share with others who want to understand actual warfare rather than propaganda. Comment your perspective on how military operations should be reported. This is Navy Force USA, where we analyze capabilities honestly, acknowledge complexity, respect both sides' competence, and refuse to pretend that war is simple or one-sided. The next time you see headlines about military strikes, you'll know to ask, what really happened? What were the actual results? What cost did both sides pay? Stay informed with realistic analysis, not propaganda, not fantasy, reality.